Don't have to wait, you know my name. Sunshine and rain, some things don't change. Thinking about the days we were younger. Innocent in our ways, we were dumb, girl. But nothing really mattered, I could always count on you. Your touch will leave me breathless, so let me give it back to you. My name, sunshine and rain, some things don't change. Thinking about the days we were younger. Innocent in our ways, we were dumb, girl. When nothing really mattered, I could always count on you. Your touch will leave me breathless, so let me give it back to you. I could always count on you. I could always count on you.
What is up, everyone? How's everyone doing? We have John here. John, how you doing? John is still muted. So is Jackson. Jackson will be right back.
I am now unmuted. Hello, everybody.
John is unmuted. Jackson,
I believe that Jackson is currently using the bathroom, so
he's going number 2, so he might be a little bit, but
we're gonna have to open things up with just me and you for a sec here.
All right, but let's just get right into it. The BUBBA STARLING era has finally come to John, and you have been there to witness the first 2 games.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Atmosphere?
I never really thought the day would come, because to be honest, he kind of looked like a lost cause ever since like 2 years after we drafted him. But I guess he's got the hitting worked out. Had a good little stroke today. Got into the hit column, so good for him. Definitely looking forward to his contributions. My expectations are incredibly low, but who knows what'll happen. It'll be interesting to see how things play out as the years go on, and it's good to see him finally up here in the majors because it's a long time coming.
All right, and you've been at the first 2 games. What has the atmosphere kind of been like?
I mean, it's really interesting because I think a lot of people kind of already welcome him as like, you know, one of a big guy in just the Kansas City community, which I'm sure is kind of a byproduct of the fact that, you know, he went to school around here. He's already kind of been in that little arena per se. So that is interesting. But overall, yeah, it's been great. A lot of people supporting him. I think the fans in general are extremely excited for what he has to bring. And yeah, it'll be a good journey. We'll see how things work out. But once again, pretty low expectations because it's taken him so long to get up here. But who knows, what Merrifield took a long time as well. So we'll see how it works out.
All right, and coming in from the comment section, Great Dane asks, who's your favorite Orioles player? Present, it is by far Mondesi. I really like his potential, the way he's playing, the way he's hitting the ball. A close second would be Jorge Soler, but if this is all time, that's a hard one.
I see. Yeah, for present day Royals, I would have to say Soler because I like the deep ball. Who doesn't? But all time Royals, kind of, well, not unpopular, but unusual. Definitely Wade Davis.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. I want to say, I know we had him for not that long, but Cueto was really clutch. But I might have to lean to Moose. I just feel like.
Also, another one, underrated take, Edinson Volquez.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
absolutely. And the late great Giordano Ventura.
My present favorite is Nicky Lopez. All time is Billy Butler. Yeah, those are two fine. I mean, that's a good answer. I totally forgot about Billy Butler. It's
Yeah,
not my
Billy Butler
favorite.
was a baller.
He was a
Don't
Kansas
do
City.
Billy Butler.
He's a Kansas City legend.
Yep, absolutely. Not sure
But
where Jackson is.
still
Taking
pooping.
a fat minute.
But let's talk right back into the Royals. Royals, I know it's only been 2 games, but the 2-0 against somehow a worse team than the Royals themselves, the Detroit Tigers. Do you think this is a good start to the second half, or they're just getting low? Jackson is back. Done pooping.
What up?
Anyway,
Yep.
John, and you can answer this question first, but do you think the Royals needed this kind of good second half start? I know it's only been 2 games, but do you think this could be the start of something? Did they change something up? All right, Jackson, it is.
Oh, were you asking me? I thought you were asking Jackson. But I will say, to swing it back to me, I will say that, yeah, I mean, it definitely helps, but if we can go 5 games below 500 for the duration of the season, I would be absolutely thrilled with that. Anything to just get some good momentum going into last season, because I think that this team is a lot better than their record shows, and they're a lot closer to being good than a lot of people give them credit for. So it's kind of an interesting little dynamic that you have, seeing as we're one of the worst teams in the MLB record-wise. But definitely exciting to come out with 2 wins. Also, once again, we already talked about it. Well, Jackson was gone. Bubba Starling finally coming up. So lots of things to look forward to for the last 69 games.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Very nice.
Before you answer that question, Jackson, what are your expectations on Bubba?
I would hope he could hit at least 250, play good defense, steal 20 bases, and probably hit about 15 home runs a year. I think that's realistic for him. For the rest of this year, honestly, just hit between 250 and 290. That's anywhere between there is respectable. I don't expect him to hit any higher than that. He's continued to play hard and just earn your spot in center field for next year, hopefully. I mean, he made his MLB debut younger than Whit Merrifield did. So, it's not impossible for him to be in our future. He's only 26, going to be turning 27 here pretty soon. But, I want him to try and, he's worked hard to get here, but he's got to work, even harder to keep going and to continue his success. So I'd expect him to just, bust his ass and do everything he can to, get on the roster next year.
All right, and even with Bubba coming up, I don't want this to happen, but could you see Billy Hamilton being someone offered at the trade deadline?
Oh, hell yeah. I think, Dayton Moore has said that Bubba came up here to play. He's not going to sit on the bench, and that basically took a spot away from Billy Hamilton. He was kind of the weakest link. You're not going to take it away from Gordon. And then you want Lopez in there, so you put Merrifield in right. So really it kind of just left Hamilton at, a disadvantage. I bet they will offer him, or a team will ask about him. His asking price can't be too high. I mean,
no, but I could definitely see him being a really good part to a playoff team that needs to get over that hump. Someone that's better than Terrence Gord. They can hit the ball a little bit, but if they get on base, they can steal.
Yeah, Billy Hamilton was a lot better a couple years ago for the Reds than he is now. He's out of his prime. Only hitting 217 this year, not very good. Decent outfielder, he can range. But yeah, I think that they're probably going to try and deal him. And realistically, I would say they're going to deal him and call up rather Bonifacio or Phillips, as they play more into the long-term future than Billy would.
All right, and John, this question can go to you. Besides Billy Hamilton, is there anyone else you see at the trade deadline that could be traded away?
See, that's completely dependent on the offers that we see. Because I wouldn't completely rule out the opportunity of a Soler trade, or God forbid a Whit Merrifield trade if someone gives us the kitchen sink for him. But all in all, yeah, I'd say he's probably the most likely target. I don't think there's much value there. However, I mean, I don't think a lot of teams are willing to give up even mid-level prospects for a guy that pretty much can only run bases and play defense. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him dealt, but I don't think that there's a lot there.
All right.
Yeah, I could see guys such as Duffy maybe. I've heard he might be on the market. I think, though, with the Red Sox going and picking up a guy today, Andrew Kashner, that kind of that's a big blow to Duffy's trade market. But also, I saw something that the Nationals are considering Jake Diekman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hell, if they give us a low A ball player, I would make that deal. Yeah, I think really it's not going to be as much as last year when we traded Moose. We're not going to have a guy like that moving unless Merrifield moves, which would take a very good offer. It really would, because Dayton Moore seems to really like the guy. But yeah, I mean, Soler, there's a slim possibility of that. I don't know if the Royals really want to move Soler. Trying to think. Yeah, you said other than Billy. So I think Billy Hamilton also could be on the move. I think I don't know if there's a market. However, I could see someone maybe talking about Willie Peralta for like cash considerations or something.
I wouldn't be mad.
I mean, he's got like a 4.5 ERA, which isn't great, but like, I don't know. Teams.
Kennedy could have kept up with
Kennedy. Yeah, that's one I wasn't even thinking. I mean, he's got a 3.5 ERA, which
the issue with him is his contract is just ginormous.
Yeah, you don't pay
him on for another year.
Yeah, you don't pay a reliever that.
I think a lot of teams would stray away from him, even though he has like a .97 ERA since the start of like June or something. So
is Homer Bailey. Homer Bailey, if he keeps this up, that's also him.
Yeah.
I even forgot Homer Bailey existed. Yeah. Good Lord.
Someone Bailey
might be willing to take a shot on him. Who knows?
I mean, the only thing is that I don't think we have, other than Whit Merrifield, I don't think we have a guy on our team right now that could bring in any really good prospects.
Exactly.
The prospects you would be getting are low ceiling type of guys.
I think Jorge Soler could offer
Jorge Soler could get you a mid-level prospect.
Yeah, I mean, Merrifield would probably get you 3 guys. Two of them would be just like average AA players right now, and one of them would be a really good AAA player. That would be my guess.
You could probably get someone high level for Whit Merrifield.
Top 100 for Whit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The thing is, let me go look at this real quick. I'm going to go look at the top 100 prospects. But who really, I know it's like Whit can play everywhere, and it would be great to have him, but who's willing to sell a key piece of the future for an infielder?
Teams that are on the verge of getting to the playoffs.
Well, let's think. Let's look at the bottom half of the top 100, because that's what we're looking at.
That's what I'm looking at too.
The Dodgers are not going to trade for him. They're just not. They're
second baseman.
It really doesn't. I'll look, but they're so stacked. I don't think it really matters at this point.
The Twins.
The Twins have Jonathan Scope at second. I don't think they're going to trade.
I mean, really, the thing with Whit though is that if you need any position,
yeah, he's like Zobrist,
because we needed a left fielder and then we needed a second baseman,
the Rays
dynamically.
Who do the Braves have at second?
I don't even know. I don't think I can name one Braves player.
It's not Ozzy Albies.
Outfield, I thought.
No, I think he's a second baseman.
Oh. Well, anyway,
but yeah,
there's potential for some teams, and we're a hard team to trade because we don't have people to trade for.
No, I mean that's what it ultimately comes back to. We really don't have anybody on our roster right now that is
an obvious trade. We don't have a single guy that is he's going to get dealt.
I mean, you look at other teams like the Diamondbacks, Greinke's probably going to get moved, most likely. They have a huge name like that. The Tigers even have more guys like Nick Constellanos and Matthew Boyd and Shane Green. I mean, they've got guys on that team that are going to get moved. A lot of terrible teams, except for us in Baltimore, have players that they're going to move. You could probably see them. You've been hearing the Mets are probably going to move Syndergaard maybe.
I don't think Thor's going to get traded.
That would be the end of an era.
I don't know, but Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting. I really think the most interesting team at the deadline will be Cleveland because I
Cleveland is on
still
the verge. It's like they either got to push to make the playoffs or they just got to push to get the prospects.
yeah, I don't know if they want to tank and just add pieces through minor league system or if they want to go for it this year. I think Cleveland banked on being in a terrible division this year because I mean it had been, and Minnesota just kind of shot out of nowhere and played
I
very
don't see
well.
Minnesota being a good playoff team though. I just don't.
I mean, the thing is, who
Here's
really
the thing.
knows in the MLB
Minnesota
playoffs?
Minnesota has to play the Royals, Tigers, White Sox, and Indians. That's the easiest division by far.
I mean, yeah, but you could have said that for the Royals in 2015.
It was the easiest division.
Yeah, and they won the World Series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
The thing
I
is,
see what
the
you're
Twins
saying.
are a good team. Anybody can win in the playoffs. You get remotely hot.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
2014, we knocked off that
Listen,
just ridiculous Angels team.
yeah, I think the MLB playoffs are just so interesting because the first series, winning 3 of 5, is just like such a. And listen, I mean they're probably not going to have home field advantage, but in a way, I think not having home field in the first round kind of helps. And
It
I know it
helps.
sounds stupid
I get
because
what you're saying, though.
if you steal one on the road,
You
like
can end it right there.
Houston did it to us almost. I mean, they took game 1 on the road
They
and
should have
then
done it to us.
The thing
And I
is,
mean-
with the MLB, I don't want to put too much emphasis on home field advantage because it doesn't really matter that much in the
No,
grand
because
scheme of things.
it's not like you get only one game. You have 3 or 4 games.
Also, I mean, the crowd benefactor doesn't make a big difference in the MLB compared to the NBA and the NFL.
No, I disagree.
it
Compared
depends.
to, it's
it
not
depends.
even close. Like,
Not to the NFL. The NFL is so far different.
Yeah, for sure.
but
for sure.
even the NBA, like playing
Yeah.
at home
Yeah.
road is such a big
I
difference
tell you,
in the NBA.
one of the most underrated parts of that Golden State dynasty was the home fans. I mean, like you literally like I know the professionals, but the noise factor in there, like when that team got on a run, you could tell the other teams were shook.
That was pretty much when I knew they had lost too, because when they lost was with Game 3, like
Yeah.
that's a big red flag. And then they lost Game 4 as well. Even like you just can't give two. Oh, they can just give 2 games away at home like that. So yeah.
All right.
Also, I yelled because Sporting just scored. So sorry.
there's your soccer update. Everyone that loves soccer.
Yeah, if
on
you
here.
want your soccer update, let me know because I got it all.
Yeah, John can give you a little soccer update.
International, Mr. Worldwide.
But- All right. Anyway,
Pitbull.
what was I gonna say? Shoot. It was about the NBA.
Westbrook trade?
Westbrook, yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Harden and Westbrook teaming up again? Is this gonna be a good or bad thing? Jackson, we'll start with you.
Okay, you know how they always ask, initially, who do you think won the trade? I think
I think
Both
the Thunder
team-
did because to be
I think
honest,
both teams lost this trade, to be honest.
Both teams lost.
I think Houston
Lost.
Houston got nothing out of this. I mean, Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. I mean, here's the thing.
Two huge
Russell Westbrook
contracts.
Russell Westbrook is more athletic and he's more dependable to be on the court. However, he's also more of an inefficient player and more of a headache to have on the court. I mean, it really didn't make sense to do the move if you wanted to move Chris Paul, man, Westbrook, I mean, we've already seen it. Westbrook and Harden didn't work the first time together. Granted, Harden didn't break out yet, but maybe Harden hadn't broke out because Westbrook hadn't allowed him to break out. And then on Oklahoma City's side of things, yes, those picks are nice, but I mean, who the hell knows what those picks are even going to be? I mean, if Harden's still playing, those picks are probably going to be in the 20s. So I don't really think that they're going to be insanely valuable. And Chris Paul doesn't even look like he's going to play a game on Oklahoma City. So I don't really see a winner of this trade.
Okay, to combat that, I will do the inverse and say both teams
first
won this
pick.
trade.
Here. I will say the Thunder won this trade.
I will say both teams won this
Any
trade.
first pick you have, any first round pick you have, is a good pick.
Debatable.
I mean, you have a shot to get a legitimate
It's a lot
NBA player
better.
with any first round pick.
It's
the NBA first picks are the second highest valued picks, I would say.
I mean, I'm not even going to compare anything to the MLB because no one knows
No,
what
The
they're
MLB
doing. And
an MLB first round pick is not very valuable, to be honest.
the
Like it's
NFL,
like a number 1 overall pick, you can expect like big things, but
top 3 you can expect. The NFL has those first round picks are valued high.
I mean, really, second round picks in the NFL, you could say, are as valuable as
We
first
traded
round
D
picks in
Ford
the
for a
NBA.
second round pick. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying, but John, explain why both teams won.
Okay, well, the thing with this to me is I don't fall part of the camp that thinks Russell Westbrook is a terrible basketball player, like 2 people in this podcast do.
Whoa,
My
I
main
never
take with
said
it.
that.
Okay, well, what? Okay, that's a bit of a stretch on my part, but I will say that I think that a lot of people undervalue Westbrook's effectiveness just because he hasn't had a lot of playoff success since Kevin Durant left. And I mean, to be quite honest, I feel like he's such an odd player that you have to know you're getting a great athlete when you bring him on, an incredible NBA player. But I don't think anyone actually knows if he's going to be able to win when he has a good enough team around him that doesn't consist of Kevin Durant. Because, I mean, I think if you look at him in terms of stats, this duo should easily be good enough to contend for a title legitimately. But I think a lot of people think, and it's definitely warranted, that he's kind of an odd playoff piece and a bit of a head case. Everyone knows that. But all in all, I mean, the Thunder had no reason to keep him around. So that's an obvious win for them. And they're going to get to liquidate Paul into even more picks. So they pretty much upgraded there. And the Rockets, I mean, Chris Paul's kind of older. I have to say that Russell Westbrook is an upgrade from him. He's an odd case. It's a big risk, but I think it's one you have to take if you're the Rockets. Because you're too good to tank, but you have to go all in.
They also took Clint Capella, like everyone off the trade block.
I will say this.
They're running with this team too.
I will say this. I do think it's a win in the fact that they parted ways with Westbrook. I think that was just not working in Oklahoma City, and it was just not going to work. They tried. They went 11 years with the guy, and they just never could really get it figured out.
They tried, and it worked out when you had KD. You made
I
it
mean,
to the finals.
But then Kevin Durant didn't want to play with him, and then Paul George didn't want to play with him, and it's just kind of, I don't know. It's and you look at it, like look at these guys, like Oladipo broke out after he left. Sabonis got better after he left. Durant arguably got better when he left Oklahoma City. I mean, it's just like I question Russell Westbrook holding his teammates back.
Well, you can say the same thing with
I still think Westbrook is a very good player. I really do. I think he's one of the most athletic players of all time.
He's an MVP.
But him and Harden have something in common, and it's that both of their best months are in January. They are January and February type players. They are not built for April and May. They're just not. They put up these crazy stats. You're like, wow, they're scoring a lot of points. They're putting up a lot of assists. They're doing all this. These are crazy. These are numbers we don't see a lot. But then when it gets to the playoffs, it's nothing. I mean, and the big problem I have is that D'Antoni absolutely, as a coach, loves the three ball. Russell Westbrook shoots 29% from three. That's a problem.
Okay, here. Let's flip the side now. Does Chris Paul ever play a game in a Thunder jersey?
No.
You think he will get traded?
They want to get a deal done.
I know they want to get a deal done.
No, he will not play a game with Oklahoma City.
They do not.
Now let me ask you
I
this.
tell you, Oklahoma City wants to tank this year. I will say that. Listen, from what I'm hearing,
sources on the inside.
From what I've seen, no one's talked to me specifically about it, but from what I've seen on Twitter, it does not look like Pat Riley and the Heat want to give up anything in specifics.
One, you would be giving up first picks. You would be taking in so much money. Like that's.
I'm hearing that the Heat won't even give up Justice Winslow. Like they don't really care for Chris Paul that much.
This is the only team that I can think of. Call me stupid.
Listen, if they wouldn't, I mean, here's the problem.
They don't have anything to trade.
First, they don't have anything to trade. Second, they have no cap space. It would take the Thunder buying out Paul's contract and him signing with the Lakers on a vet minimum for that to work, which probably won't happen.
Yeah, it's the NBA.
I mean,
And listen,
Chris
Miami.
Paul's such a weird case because
If Miami
does anyone even want that? Like, he's old.
No, I think Chris Paul's literally like a step
in
above
purgatory.
Carmelo Anthony
I was just
right
about
now.
to say that. This is a Carmelo Anthony case.
I think first of all, it's hilarious that Anthony Bennett got a job before Carmelo Anthony, but we'll talk. I guess we can talk about that later. I just thought that was great. But
I wonder if Carmelo's holding out for more than the veteran minimum, though, because I can't believe that all these teams won't even throw that at him.
yeah, I agree. But I think there's only one right now. It looks like only one trade suitor for Chris Paul. It's Miami, and if they weren't willing to give up Justice Winslow and Bam Adebayo for Westbrook, they're for sure not going to give it up for an older Chris Paul. So, that's kind of where I'm like, And Miami
But I
doesn't
wonder,
even.
what are the Thunder going to try and get out of Chris Paul?
First round
Because
pick.
they have nothing to gain from keeping him.
I would say
Here's the thing with Chris Paul.
They might
Chris
lower
Paul-
their standards.
Chris Paul's value right now is probably the worst it's been in his entire NBA career.
Without a doubt.
So
Obviously.
they would be fortunate to get a first round pick out of him. He is not that good. Like, I could see honestly a deal of like Goran Dragic, Kelly Olynyk, and like something else just to get him. Like, if that's because like the Heat are not going to give up their young core for
This is hypothetical.
most. Yeah, I know. The Heat.
Oh,
Heat
no,
would
I was
be.
gonna ask a question.
Hold on, before you finish that. The Heat would be so idiotic to do this. Bam Adebayo's 20, Justice Winslow's 23, Tyler Hero's 19. If they send those pieces away for an old crippled Chris Paul, then Pat Riley's lost it.
Well, they didn't even send away those players for Westbrook, but
No, and I'm hearing that they're more interested in Bradley Beal than they are in Chris Paul.
which isn't a bad thing. But let me ask you this: the Heat get Paul just somehow, some way, are they a Finals contender?
Hell no,
No,
with
not even
Butler-
close.
not even close.
All right.
You have to be prepared for when Paul just tears down. He's not going to be able to play in the playoffs.
We've all seen that happen, though.
It's pretty much
It
I
brings
compare
back
it.
nightmares for John.
It's just like Sammy Watkins. You know there's going to be an injury coming. You just are waiting for it to happen.
And you hope it doesn't come at the wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Which it
you
didn't
hope-
for the Chiefs, so great.
I mean, you hope it's a week 3 injury, not a wild card injury.
All right. Talking about Anthony Bennett, he's given a second chance. First, probably one of the biggest busts in NBA history.
Yeah,
Given a
easily.
second chance in Houston. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it is what it is.
go ahead.
I don't even care.
Yeah, I think if he plays, I'll be very
If
surprised.
he puts up 5 points a game, 8 points
If
a
he
game,
puts-
I'll be shocked.
If he puts up 5 minutes a game, I'd be pretty shocked. I mean, he is not going to get. I would not assume any playing time.
Just a little question. Just a little bonus question. Does anyone know where he went to college? Because I do.
UNLV,
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that.
and I still to this day could not believe whenever they picked him.
Oh, I
I-
knew they were going to pick him. I knew he would be a bust. If you're coming
I-
from Washington or UNLV, you're not going to be good. You don't go up against good teams.
Well, that's
I
not
mean, yes,
entirely
but
true.
you also have to look at it. There's been plenty of people from mid-majors that have done well.
LSU,
Look at the Clippers.
Ben Simmons.
Look at
Look at the Clippers.
Steph Curry. He went to Davidson.
Yeah, he
Yeah, I mean-
played in March Madness, though.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
I
Like, the
mean-
Clippers have their best players are from San Diego State and Fresno State. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't buy into the whole "don't pick mid-major players" thing. That's really dumb to me.
All right.
Just because
well,
you didn't face great competition in college, they know.
Yeah.
They know who the good players are.
All right. Well, I mean,
They
I know
no.
John is on a time crunch. I'm on a time crunch. If we're missing anything else, let's wrap this thing up. Get ready
Clippers
for
are going all the
Tuesday.
way.
All right. I think we're going to hear
Nope.
that every single day until the
Yes,
finals.
100%.
No.
100%. Best
No.
team.
We
Look
will
at that
see
depth.
you guys on Tuesday.
Look at that depth.
No.
Look at that depth. Look
What
at